Hi, what's up, y'all? It's Poppin' with Cracking. It's J-Boss here to this impressive vid titled Jay-Z Accuser Lied on Him and Diddy. WTF? Tony Busby is grimy. Weird celebrity party, Beyonce and Jay. I want to hear what she has to say about the situation because if I recall correctly, was she on the the Jay Z is guilty hate train? Or maybe she was. I don't remember. But I feel like she was. So I'm definitely interested in hearing what people have to say who were so, so sure that, this story was true and that Jay Z did what people said he did. So, yeah, let's hear what she has to say. Let's watch. Or maybe she didn't strongly say he did it. I don't remember.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Impressive channel. So, there has been some pretty big updates in this whole recent lawsuit against Jay Z. The accuser sat down and did an interview with NBC.
I mean, I already reacted to this, of course, so
people noticed that there were some
I just want to hear what she
inconsistencies
has
in
to
her
say.
story, and I want to get into that. But just to give a backstory, NBC News broke the story that Jay Z was the unnamed celebrity male who allegedly violated a 13-year-old girl alongside P. Diddy at one of his after parties. Now, this incident was said to have taken place in September 2000 after the MTV Music Video Awards. And
oh yeah, she was the one who was implying that it was J-Lo, and it's like, girl, whole time this story probably didn't even happen. I remember calling her off of that. Yeah, I remember.
Also, the accuser detailed some of these alleged
smearing that woman's name.
She claimed that a friend dropped her off at Radio City Hall in New York City, where the award show was. She attempted to get into the event after approaching several limousine drivers, and one of the limousine drivers who happened to drive for Diddy invited her to the after party and said that she fit what Diddy was looking for. And so he picked her up, drove her to the after party, and at the party, the accuser claims that she accepted a drink and she got drugged, and she laid down in one of the rooms, and P. Diddy, along with Jay-Z, took advantage of her, and an unnamed female celebrity watched. And after the horrific incident, she claims that she ran out the room, ran out the house, and tried to retrace the route that the driver took her. And then she arrived at a gas station and called her father to pick her up. Now, NBC News did do an interview with the accuser, and they did find some inconsistencies in her story and a few oddities as well. Now, one thing to note is the accuser is autistic. So that's definitely going to affect the way she recalls information. And considering that this took place 24 years ago, the details are going to be a bit skewed, but still it's very important to get the details correct if you're going to be accusing somebody of something so heinous. And honestly, I have to blame the lawyer Tony Busby because he should have done some more fact checking. And NBC kind of exposed the holes.
Since when does being autistic mean that your memory is going to be a bit fuzzy and you can't recall things correctly? Like, I think that's a wild thing to say. I've never heard that before. And I've watched a few documentaries on people with autism. I never heard that. I got a cousin who's autistic as well. And I never heard of that being a symptom. So, very interesting that people throwing that in there.
Accuser's story. Now, what was odd
I think that's
how
irrelevant
she got
to
to
the
the
story, to
MTV
be honest.
VMAs. She claimed that a friend drove her from Rochester, New York, where she was living at the time, all the way to New York City, which was a 5-hour drive. NBC wanted to ask the friend about this, but they couldn't because the friend died. So they decided to ask the father. Now, the accuser claims the father picked her up from New York City, but when NBC asked the father about it, he said that he didn't recall doing that. Now, I would think that a father would recall having to drive 5 hours to pick up his 13-year-old daughter, but he didn't. That was odd as well. Now, her lawyer, Tony Busby, told NBC News, "We agree he states he doesn't remember. His daughter explains that he was in no state to remember during that point in time due to personal issues he was having then. We are talking about a time frame more than 20 years ago." Okay, so they claim the father had issues and couldn't recall it. Okay, let's say if that were true, that would probably explain why the father didn't know that his 13-year-old child was gone all night, and it would also explain why he didn't ask questions about what happened to her when he picked her up. Because the accuser did say that she never told her father what happened. She just wrote down the incident in her diary. So the fact that he never asked about it is very suspect, but he had issues. So obviously he wasn't a normal, concerned father. But him having issues doesn't change the fact that he didn't corroborate the accuser's story. So there is an inconsistency there. There was also another inconsistency. The accuser claimed that while she was at the party, she was talking to people like Fred Durst and Benji Madden from Good Charlotte. Now, Benji Madden's representative spoke out and said that neither him or his brother attended the 2000 VMAs because they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. The accuser did respond to this, and she admitted that she made some mistakes in trying to identify everybody who was there.
Oh, that's what she said.
So she didn't know everybody who was there, but she said that she knew exactly what happened to her. So she's doubling down on what happened to her. But once again, these inconsistencies does make her story look
I
a
didn't know
little
she was
sketchy.
doubling down.
Not only that, the quote unquote after party in question was actually just a party at a club called the Lotus Club. And it was said that Jay-Z and Diddy were there, but they were partying in different sections. The accuser did not go to this party. She claims that she went to a party held at a large white
They were at a
residence with a
different
gated
party?
U-shaped
That's crazy.
driveway. So that's where she was taken to. Now, it is possible that they held a party there, but they can't confirm it. They can't confirm if Jay-Z was in attendance either. So yeah, these are some pretty big inconsistencies that will definitely help Jay-Z's case, because he feels like this whole story was fabricated. And let's be honest, the story just doesn't sound right. It sounds like the accuser either got the wrong person or she's just lying. Like, let's be real. Like, I hate to say that victims are lying, but a lot of things are not adding up here.
Not all
so
victims
it does
are
sound like
honest.
a lie. So Jay-Z knows that this is fabricated, and he also feels like the lawyer
Not all
Tony
victims
Busby
are actual
brought
victims.
this case about to extort him. Now, I will say Tony was dead wrong for not vetting this case properly. I do think he was very, very hasty in trying to collect as much victims and accusers against Diddy as possible, because he's trying to get a big payday. Let's be honest. When he set up that hotline requesting that people call in and tell their stories about Diddy, he is trying to get a payday because he knows that Diddy at this point is cooked. I mean, he's been indicted for trafficking and racketeering, and the feds already collected all this evidence on him. So there's nothing that Diddy can do to defend himself. And so if the feds say he's guilty, then the automatic assumption is he might be guilty of everything else. So Tony Busby has been collecting all these different cases, and in some of these cases, some of the accusers were name dropping other big celebrities. And so what Tony would do is he would quietly go to these celebrities and try to seek quote unquote mediation, aka money. And allegedly some of these celebrities have paid out money because they're afraid to be mentioned publicly.
What?
However, Jay-Z refused to settle, and instead of settling, he actually allegedly sued Tony and his law firm under a John Doe alias and accused him of extortion. Now, is what Tony doing considered extortion in a legal sense? Actually, no, it's not. It's actually standard in civil lawsuits for lawyers to send demand letters seeking confidential mediation. So that's not considered extortion. However, Jay-Z and his legal team know that Tony is trying to trap him into paying money, and he's furious about it. And to Jay-Z's credit, I do think he did what he was supposed to do. If somebody is accusing you of something so heinous, you need to go at it hard. And Jay-Z did just that. He not only denounced these allegations publicly, but also he and his legal team have filed complaints about the unfairness of the situation and how his name is being tarnished in the media over allegations that he claims aren't true. And also they're saying how unfair it is that the accuser gets to remain anonymous while his name is dragged through the mud. Not only that, he and his team are asking for a motion to dismiss this case entirely because of it.
Yeah, and if she's remaining anonymous, because I know some people are just like, oh, he paid them off or he paid off the daddy. How did he even find out if she's anonymous? Like, how did he get that information?
Inconsistencies. So from a legal standpoint, I think Jay-Z reacted the way that he should have. I think he's doing what he should do to prove his innocence. However, I will say there were a few things that Jay-Z did that I didn't agree with, and that was the bullying tactics that he's been using behind the scenes, because Tony has called him out on it and has said that he and his family have been harassed, the victim has been harassed.
Girl, if it's coming out that Tony is shady and he was just seeking money, you don't think it's possible that he made this up? Like, it's being exposed that he doesn't have morals. He's just out for money. You don't think that this could have been fabricated, just like the woman's story? Girl.
He also claims that private investigators have been sent to his door. He also claims that Jay-Z's people have been trying to reach out to
exactly claims. So how you gonna say, oh, I don't agree with what Jay-Z did?
Former clients and colleagues to smear his name and sue him. Tony actually told TMZ Jay-Z's investigators contacted more than 40 former clients they apparently found on Venmo. They each were offered $1,000 to sue me. We have the investigators caught on tape admitting they gave this client money to bring this case. We will be seeking the state bar action against the lawyers involved because such conduct is a state law crime and also violates the ethical rules that govern lawyers. The case itself is frivolous and will be dismissed as such. So as you can see, these are some dirty tactics that Jay-Z and his legal team are pulling. Not only that, it was reported that Beyonce sent a $100,000 donation to the same law school that Tony graduated from, which is very suspect. Now, in any other circumstance, this would be considered a random act of benevolence, but here, the timing is very suspicious, and it does make one wonder if this is actually a random donation or if there's a more sinister motive where they're trying to pay for dirt on Tony. I don't know, but it does make me wonder. And I will say these different tactics aren't exactly helpful to Jay-Z in a sense because it kind of shows how he moves behind the scenes. If the Carters want to get their way, they probably will use intimidation tactics. They probably will throw their money around and use their power and connections to get their way. And imagine if there was a legitimate complaint against them, you probably will never hear about it because they know how to suppress it. But Tony Busby is one of the few people who has been brazen enough to go against Jay-Z in this way. Now, I do honestly believe that the only reason he name dropped Jay-Z in the accuser's lawsuit is because of what's been going on behind the scenes. Now, this does not mean that Tony is innocent. Honestly, I think Tony is grimy. And the way he went about this whole case was very slimy. And it kind of shows
you think he grimy, but he's telling the truth about
because
that?
He should have done a better job at vetting this particular accuser who claimed that Jay-Z violated her. He should have done a better job at vetting her. Now, he did claim that another firm vetted the case prior to sending it to him. However, he and his team should have done their due diligence to fact check all of these allegations before bringing it to the public, or at least before filing it in the first place. Because this whole case kind of hurts his credibility now, and it makes people question the validity of some of the other cases he has against Diddy. If this case is proven to be fraudulent, and if it's thrown out by the judge, then all the other cases probably won't be taken as seriously. So I think Tony messed up here. I do. I think this has been a big win for Jay-Z, and it has been a small win for Diddy as well. Just a little tiny small win because, you know, Diddy is still going up against the feds. So he got bigger fish to fry. However, inconsistent cases like this do help him a little bit. It does. But I have to say this, and this is going to be a very serious segment here, y'all. Just because this particular accuser's claims are not lining up does not mean that Diddy hasn't had inappropriate interactions with minors. Now, I would hope to God he didn't violate any child the way the accuser claimed, but you can't put anything past anybody. And, you know, Diddy's behavior has been very suspect. In fact, there was a clip that surfaced of him asking a 13-year-old actress, DeVay Chase, to go to an after party. Like, why would you be asking a child to go to an after party with a bunch of grown adults?
Come to the after party, alone. Come to the after party, alone. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I never seen that. That weird lie.
This happened in plain sight, y'all, in front of cameras. So it's not far-fetched to believe that Diddy had children at these parties and something inappropriate might have happened. It's not far-fetched to believe that. And also, it's really sad to say, it's not far-fetched to believe that Jay-Z and even Beyonce attended parties with children being there. And this is not to say that they did anything. I'm not accusing them of doing anything. But some of these celebrities know about children being at these parties. For example, one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims, Virginia, called out Naomi Campbell and said, "You saw me at these parties. You saw what happened and you didn't do anything." Also, a former NFL player at these
You saw me on the streets.
parties. You saw what happened and you didn't do anything. Also, a former NFL player named Larry Johnson, who was associates with Jay-Z and Beyonce, said that he attended a party with them where children were there too.
I did a Rockaware photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house. And we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to be like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework, but she brought her mother with her. So it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking, loud music, and us dancing wild, like, I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, "Doesn't this look sexy?" or "Isn't this sexy?" And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but the fact that these kids came around adults during drinking hours or partying hours was already alarming to me. So when I hear something like this happens, I can't really discount it and say, oh, he could never do this, because I'm hearing stories. I'm seeing it with my own eyes, and I've been in situations where something don't sound or look right, and it's usually involving children.
That's very disturbing.
That is very disturbing. And there are receipts that he was around them. These are things to pay attention to. I will say that. Because what the fuck she say?
And it also made me disappointed.
Hold on.
Especially that comment that Beyonce made. Now, it is possible that Beyonce made the comment to Larry, not the child. because he was sitting around them too. Was
Who's
he not?
sexy?
But I guess he was too drunk to know. I don't know. But it's possible that she actually was low-key flirting with him. Either way, the
Calling
situation
him
itself is
sexy?
very weird.
Girl, you don't know because you wasn't there. Let's not try to cape for Beyonce. Is she a Beyonce caper? I can't recall. I can keep up with this stuff. I know she caped for somebody. I know. I'm pretty sure Nicki is one of those people. I don't know if it's Beyonce too. But listen here. Now, how you just gonna pull that out the sky and be like, oh, she could have just been talking to him? It's possible. But she said it's likely. You said it's likely?
Actually was low-key flirting with him. Was he not? But I guess he was too drunk to know. I don't know. But it's possible that she actually was low-key flirting with him.
Oh, she says possible that she was flirting with him. Girl, you don't know because you wasn't there. I'm side-eyeing that. Because why the fuck was there kids there?
Either way, the situation itself is very weird. And the fact that a child was in the midst of that is very weird. Once again, I'm not going to say that these celebrities did anything to these children because we don't know that for certain, right? But I will say that some of these celebrities are aware that kids are around these environments, and some of them could possibly
What was
be
Justin
trafficked.
crying about?
Allie Carter
Something
was a
happened
trafficking
here.
victim who talked about being passed around as favors. So this is actually happening, y'all, and they're being sent to elites. I'm talking about politicians, businessmen, CEOs, people that you don't see in the public eye a lot. Allegedly, these children are being sent to them for favors. It's really sad. It's really sick. And I'm pretty sure a lot of these celebrities know about it. Or some of them probably even did something to these children. It's really, really, really sad. Anyway, tell me what y'all think about...
Yeah, that last part was very disturbing. I don't trust it. I don't trust none of these people, Beyonce included. I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on at all, and I don't put nothing past anybody. Any of these celebrities. I feel like there is a whole bunch of weird shit that took place. That's why Diddy felt so comfortable doing what he was doing for so long. And he got away with it for so long because there were a lot of big celebrities around him that were okay with it. They didn't report him. They didn't say anything about it. So he continued to do what he was doing. And that may have unfortunately involved children. And look at the people who were coming out and starting to say stuff about it. That one girl that was on that soft underbelly video that I reacted to, she said that there were children at his parties, and now you got him coming out. There are other people who are making these comments about, you know, there being children involved. And I just don't trust any of these people. I think that it's a lot of sick shit that takes place, and I don't think anybody is exempt. Nobody. They all could be guilty. So if more information comes out that points to them being, you know, weirdos, then yeah, we need to expose that shit and talk about it and bring it to light. I'm with that 1000%. But, you know, we're not gonna lie. And we're not going to trust everybody who comes out and makes an allegation because there are liars out there. It's important for us to use our common sense and to, you know, determine what makes sense and what doesn't based on the evidence that's presented. But yeah, weird, sick shit out. I didn't like that last situation. And then there were several photos that proved that he was around them quite a bit. So, makes you think. I don't know what's happening. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. Let me know what other videos you've been watching. I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.